We've all been down the road of spending hours on end and spending thousands of dollars fabricating our own metal boxes for the installations. So that's why we're taking care of that solution with our brand new enclosures. My name is Seth, and I'm going to show you guys how to choose the right security enclosure for your next installation. Let's hop on in. The first thing to mention on the security enclosure when you're picking one out is ensuring that you can mount at least 3 cameras, but you want the option to mount all the way up to 5. So with this unit, you can mount 1 on each side. Any camera can go on the side here that has a 3/4 inch punch out because you'll mount the junction box directly to it, and it comes with an accessory specifically for those 3/4 inch junction boxes. Another thing, on the bottom, it has a PTZ mount built in to mount that 3rd camera, which is going to be a PTZ, and it makes it super easy because it has the built-in mount already. And at the bottom, there's a couple other punch outs that are optional to punch out if you want to put any type of like miniature bullets or anything like that on the bottom as well. With this as well, a lot of people mount active deterrent cameras with those red and blue lights, but the reality is you can mount all sorts of different cameras onto this unit. It doesn't just have to be active deterrents. You have a lot of different options that you can use on the sides, on the bottom with the PTZ, or those 2 additional bullets that you have mounted next to the PTZ. The second thing with these enclosures is that you're going to want to make sure that pre-drilled already are going to be holes for an IP speaker. When you're mounting something like this, you're mounting it high off the ground. Yes, a lot of these cameras have those speakers already built into them, like these active deterrent cameras. The one issue with it being sometimes when they're 20 feet up, super windy day, maybe it's 30 feet away, they might not have the clear audio. So if you get an IP speaker that is definitely loud, you're gonna wanna put that on there. And with this unit specifically, we already have the pre-drilled holes. So when you're mounting the speaker, it takes less than a couple minutes. Third thing to consider, being on this side now, specifically because we have a antenna holder located on the top if you wanna use a 4G router. Now, with this unit specifically, you're gonna wanna do data either using a router or a wireless bridge. The wireless bridge, you're probably just gonna mount onto the wall or to the pole that this unit mounts to. But if you're using a 4G router, it has a water-proof holder to hold that antenna so you can actually get the 4G router to communicate and send the data efficiently. This unit is hard powered, so you will have to wire it down to power, but can still send data, completely remotely if you put that 4G router with the antenna at the top. The next thing to look at is making sure the inside of the unit actually has enough space for things like an NVR if you wanted to use one, a PoE switch, a 4G router, making sure that there's actually sufficient room to hold all these things, right? So with this unit here, you can go NVR PoE switch, 4G router PoE switch, you can go PoE switch with anything. There's 2 slots right here on the bottom to go ahead and hold those devices, making it very easy to kind of customize the solution depending on the job that you're actually at. Another thing to mention with the PoE switches as well, of course we do recommend the industrial managed switches, specifically from RayE, because when you're mounting this unit, it's metal, it's going to be in the sun, it's going to get hot up there. So make sure that the products you are using inside are industrial grade products, like the RayE industrial switch that we offer. Another thing to look at when getting these enclosures is making sure that you have enough 110 volt power outlets on the actual device. So on this unit, we have 3, which allows us to power up a variety of different things. Like we were just saying, the switch, the router, the NVR, all these different options can easily plug in here to the top and you're good to go. Like we were saying earlier as well, with this unit, it's gonna get really hot outside. It's completely metal, and luckily we have taken into consideration that. So we do have built-in fans to help regulate and keep the temperatures cool, and also the fan is adjustable, so when it gets hot to a certain degree, it's gonna turn on those fans to make sure it stays cooler inside as much as possible. The next thing to look at is making sure that the unit is completely waterproof. There is drain vents and protection for all areas where water can potentially get in. For example, underneath the junction boxes here, there is little vents. If somehow, some way water gets inside this unit, there's actually a layer of protection that the water is just gonna drip out here on the side rather than actually getting in on the internals. Now, all across the unit, including the antenna holders and all the drill holes, we have taken consideration to make sure that it is as water secured, of not getting anything in as possible, and is rated at IP55 rating. One of my favorite features with this enclosure as well is that we actually have a built-in light here at the front. It'll be flashing red and blue lights when it is on, and this is helping with the active deterrent side of things. So this light will always be flashing, and you got the cameras on the side to flash when an activity is going on, and even the IP speaker, when it detects an activity going on, it can go off as well. So with this little siren at the front, you have that active deterrence going all the time. When it comes to mounting an enclosure like this, you have to take in consideration if you're mounting it on a pole or on a wall. Now, if you're doing an installation of these, usually you're doing more than one. You're saying 3 to 5. So a lot of times you have to custom fabricate or purchase different options to do some on a pole, some on a wall. But with this unit here specifically, you can mount this either on a pole or a wall. There's no issues. We have little pole mount brackets that will go around, and we also have it available just to be mounted directly to the wall. So no matter where you're installing it, we got you covered there as well. Another great thing about this unit is the fact that all the accessories that you actually need when it comes to installing this and using this comes included, like the cat cable, the power cable for the actual device, all the little accessories like the punch out holders for the junction box, all that comes with it, including the 110 volt power cable to actually get this unit powered up. So you're covered there as well. Now, one of the most common installations with these security enclosures are going to be apartment complexes, because when you're installing a camera system on an apartment complex, you don't want to run cable into the walls of these other people's apartments. You don't want to actually, drill into somebody's house or something, and then the landowners, all sorts of issues. So it's better to just install the enclosures. And what people are doing is they're actually using wireless bridges on the wall or the pole that it's mounting to go out and bring it data, and they're just running a conduit down to power this unit up at any local power outlet as well. The next common application that you're seeing a lot of these enclosures located at is going to be parking lots. People are mounting these directly onto the poles. They're using typically 4G routers inside the unit, using the antenna holder on the side to hold it, and it's providing the data for that enclosure. And I've even seen people use wireless bridges off of that to run data to other wireless bridges and other enclosures within the same parking lot to prevent people at nighttime coming in, especially with the active deterrence functions, red and blue lights flashing. Parking lots are subject to so many different crimes and people hanging out there. This is a great solution to get you covered. The third application I'm going to mention to you guys is when you're in the event that you have local power, but you don't have data right there and then there, you're going to want an enclosure to use on larger applications like farmland or parks and recreation areas where you have a big area, you got some local power you can run down in 2 seconds, but you don't have that data perfectly on site. Maybe you got to use a wireless bridge, maybe you got to use a 4G router. The enclosure is going to be perfect for that type of application. To get this video wrapped up, when you're choosing an enclosure, you're going to want to make sure all these points are covered, that you're getting something that you're not going to have to fabricate, spend tons of time customizing, spend a ton of money making your own. No need for that anymore. You're going to want a cost-effective solution that's ready to go, that are built for your security solutions. So, thank you guys for watching.